start with a binder. Oh, I went under it that time. This is a binder, of course. This is Commonplace Binder 101, so thank you for showing up to Commonplace Binder 101, episode 31. I'm going to put this down now. So, using a practice tool to set up your system. Why would I recommend to start with binder? Well, because this is for Commonplace Binder. Originally, it was Commonplace Book. And so this is the path to a Commonplace book. I believe the easiest way to do this is to make a binder rather than a book. Why would somebody do that? Well, with a Commonplace book, you have to keep track of all the page numbers, and if they don't exist, you have to write them out, which is really annoying. You might not know if you like lined paper or dots or blank or whatever else, so you're going to have to choose one of those immediately and commit to it for the entire book, which is really annoying, because you could just, hole punch that in a binder. You get there the same way. And most importantly, you have to leave everything in the book, because the book doesn't open. The book does not open and close. So if you put something in which is kind of a problem and it upsets you, or it's just not done properly, or it takes up space, or it's gross, it's in there. So good luck with that, I guess. But if you have a binder, you can just put it in or take it out. Another benefit of having a binder is in the very beginning, I have a content section. And so what that means is I write the subject in the contents. I write it on this little tab here, and then I write it on the top of the page that it belongs to. So some of these sections are bigger than others. One of my friends loves that. She doesn't comment it, but I know she loves the noise. Okay. I'm going to stop doing that. But basically, the point of the binder is to just make it a little bit easier to work with. And it might be a little bit more fragile. It might pinch you, so, just don't pinch yourself. This is not from that. This is me taking a nap on a surface, which is... It just ends up cutting my hands every so often in the winter, which is annoying. Perspective. Maybe you have the perspective that I should not take naps on things that are going to give me cuts. That would be a good idea. That would be good advice. So, unfortunately, when I take the nap, I'm just like, well, I should probably go to sleep, and then I'm out. So, that's more of a personal problem. But how will this help you with your perspective? Well, in a normal Commonplace book, your important stuff goes in the front. Just kidding. It's whatever happens to go in the front goes in the front, because you're just writing it out, and so you have to figure out exactly where everything is going to be, and you don't know at the beginning where everything is going to be. And if you did, why would you be making one? Yeah, but one of the ways this is super helpful is I can cycle through the contents. So basically what I'm saying is when I cross something off in here, I simply put it back in the binder at the end. So instead of being like A, B, C, D, E, and going through all the letters, I just move it to the back and I don't hyperfixate on the thing at the very beginning. So this way, if you're prone to focusing on things or memorizing them, you just won't do that. Or you'll memorize it all equally rather than just one fixed point. Probably. A digital twin is very important. So I have the binder, and it's only handwriting, and right now I don't have any of it backed up, with the exception of in my flip-through videos. So this video will not include a flip-through. Not doing that today. But yeah, if you don't have a digital twin of some sort, if you drop your book or your binder in a puddle, it's over. It's done. And not in a good way. Lifestyle appearance. So you might have the appearance of a super fancy, commonplace book or binder lifestyle if you make it look super pretty. I don't really care about that. I'm showing you a demo, and when I'm working on my own stuff, I do make it a little prettier than this. Sometimes. I don't do much of it anymore, because start with a binder. That's kind of the point. So I believe using a Commonplace book will allow someone to figure out if they like the note cards and they want to go into Zettelkasten, if they're like, well, all the pages are already in here, so it would be fun to put them in individual places, but I think I'm just going to keep them all together. Maybe they'll just stay with the Commonplace book. Or maybe they will find out that if they're backing all their stuff up digitally, they might as well just spend all their time digitally. I don't know. I also don't know how you really do the lifestyle appearance if it's all digital, but if there's no need to flex, then I guess it doesn't matter. Unless you just want to show your, like, impressive obsidian vault or whatever. How? So how are you going to use a practice tool to set up your system? Well, like I said, use the Commonplace binder. Just throw all your stuff in there, and then when the stuff is not good, get rid of it. And once you think you've ordered everything properly, then you can copy everything into a standard Commonplace book. As other people like to think about it, you can think about it really however you want. Because the way it's presented on YouTube is like secret knowledge, but it's really just like a fancy notebook. So consider a test channel. If you are going to make videos out of all your stuff, if you're like, wow, I've already got all these digital materials, maybe I could make digital videos. Consider a test channel first. If you're trying to get like comfortable posting, you're probably not going to be like, hi. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be super comfortable and natural immediately. But at first, I was a little uncomfortable with this. I wasn't sure who I wanted to be known as. I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to present the information. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm doing this whole playlist. Because, you know, this is on Commonplace Binder, but I'm really focused on Commonplace Diploma. And so I will get there next year, but I need, like, a test. You know, I need something to work on first. And, yeah, so the first thing I did, technically back in, like, 2010, was I made, like, one video on a video game. It didn't include my face. It barely had gameplay. If it even had gameplay, it was basically just like a guide how to like not be terrible at a game. Because I was really annoyed at the people who were putting out videos at that point, because it was basically like it was just British people who were bad at video games but provided commentary. And like those were the only people making the videos on the game, and I was going crazy. But yeah, consider a test channel, because it might be that the first thing to do is just focus on whichever habit you can't stop doing. Like if you're playing way too many video games, maybe the way to cut down on that is to play the video games, but record them. Because then you'll only end up recording with the friends who are okay with being recorded. And when you post the stuff, you'll get comfortable posting the videos in the first place. And so you might still do 80% of your gaming, but all the extra time is going to be taken up by the test channel. So in 2021, I did the test channel. In 2022, I was like, yes, I'm going to do it for real. And I just showed off a bunch of plants outside because I couldn't really, I just wasn't comfortable. So that became the channel for, like, as I normally describe it, as the place where my projects went to die. I don't focus on it whatsoever. And then 2023 was when this channel started. Or at least when it was made. Actually, I think it was made on October 7th, 2022, but then I never actually uploaded anything that would be visible until January of 2023. So it was definitely a learning experiment. If you start with a binder, that will also be a learning experiment as well. And I can't really tell you if you're supposed to go with the Commonplace book, Zettelkasten, some other type of digital twin, or whatever, because you have to figure that out on your own. So, sorry about that. But yeah, if you're overdoing a hobby, I would definitely consider a test channel. So, you don't have to be too worried about it. It might also be good, because you'll be able to figure out which one of your friends is okay with you actually pursuing content creation or video creation in the first place, and which ones are like, they're not too happy about it. So, it's a pretty easy way to test not just the channel, but also the group of people you normally play games with. Comfortable crap. So if it's a test channel, you're probably going to be pretty comfortable with it, because it's a throwaway, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, if it does amazing, you're probably going to keep doing it, but if it doesn't, well, yeah, it was a test. It's kind of like when people play a video game online, and they're like, oh, well, you know, it was our warm-up game. we were just warming up. So yeah, you know, you could start with comfortable crap too. It doesn't have to be crap. But at the very beginning, hopefully, your stuff is going to be worse than it is 20 years from now. Like, hopefully you're going to get better over time. So which projects, well, you know, projects you'll record. That's the thing. You might want to get some of the stuff that you're not going to work on out of the way so you can focus on the things you actually want to do. Now, I'm not saying to only do the things that don't make any sense. Maybe you want to make something similar to what you actually want to make in the first place, so that way you can test the concept and, you know, the way that you actually present videos and stuff like that. Something super easy. I do not recommend starting a channel of motorcycling in a mountainous region. Like, you don't have to like go to a different place to do a thing. Just do whatever habit you don't like doing as a video on a test channel, and just keep doing it over and over again. The way I heard it described was make videos on something you can consider making 100 different videos on. If you can only make one video on the subject, like, I don't know if that's really your thing. So yeah, just do the thing that you're already doing. Like, if you're only going through emails, I don't know if you can share only going through emails, but, you know, like, I'm sure you have something that you're doing too much of, which would normally be a healthy hobby, but if you do it too much, then people are like, whoa, dude, maybe relax. This also helps with a coherent playlist. Now, this is Commonplace Binder 101, because I'm going to be making 100 videos on the subject. But if you're playing Minecraft, for example, and you're only playing Minecraft, well, congratulations, you have a coherent playlist on your test channel. That's great. If you're just starting out and you want a test channel, I would recommend 5 different categories. And what I mean by that is, if you're playing Minecraft, you might want to have 1 video per month as a playlist that goes for the whole year, so that'll be 12 videos. And it'll just be like your first 2 hours on a Minecraft server, and you can break it up into 3-minute chunks, and then make those the clips. Like, that's fine. It's not going to be the highest quality, but you'll get comfortable figuring out, like, what's actually important, how to label things, you know, all the absolute basics. Maybe you're on a giant multiplayer server, like Hypixel, and you're just playing mini games, or maybe you're only playing one specific type of mini game. And again, all you need to do is record like 2 hours of content, break that down into 12 different clips. Then we've only got these 2 left, which are basically the same as the first 2 concepts. So you just grab 2 more random things that you can commit to for 2 hours and turn it into clips. And then we got this 5th thing here. And the reason for that is because if you're only releasing on Wednesdays or, you know, Saturdays or whatever, some months will have more than 4 of that day. So they will have a 5th day. And so on that 5th day, you try out your experimental stuff for the next year. That's it. Congratulations. You have a full year of content. Now, it is going to be a test channel. It's not going to do amazing, but it's something to start with. So if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for like 20 years or 10 years, 20 years would be ridiculous, because I don't know if it even existed 20 years ago, or if it did. This video is probably getting older. I don't know where we were, though. So I believe we were talking about setting up a coherent playlist. And I just told you how to set up 4 and a test playlist, which is quite nice. But yeah, you want to integrate old system. What does that mean? Doesn't that mean integrate old systems? Am I missing an S? Well, maybe. So this is a system from, you know, a long time ago. But I did use it a lot, and I figured I could probably make content on something that I did a crazy amount of. So this is the demo, and if this is the demo, what do you think I have in my room? Like 30 of these. It's kind of ridiculous. But by integrating old systems, you can do all the work you already did without having to do all the effort you already did, which is great. You might not remember it, though, so make sure, focus on remembering. And that's one reason why I think if you do, you know, 2 channels or 3 channels or whatever, it's good to set up some sort of notes for one of the channels, so that way you can actually keep track of your process, and that might be helpful. It certainly is for me when I'm trying to set up a video, because I can go through all the steps. In a flip through, no. I mean, if I did a flip through, you could see all the different steps I have in there. I have done those before. I've already talked about this. I'm not doing that today. Command book. So this is kind of, well, it's a demo of the one I actually use, but I have one book, which is basically the book above all other books. So that's the one I spend most of my time in, because each one of these pages, basically, like these are tabs and they're attached to pages. Some of them are individual pages. So what I did after constructing the first book is I split it into two, because that's the thing, it's binder, you know, you can open it up. And so the 2 binders became 4 binders, and 8 binders, and 16 binders. Now, it didn't work in that exact way, but the point is, when I had a whole bunch of a specific type of thing, I would make a dedicated binder for that. But then, after I got, you know, over 4 different things, I needed to have a specific binder to go through the other binders themselves. And I had listings of, I believe, 950 different categories, although I had eliminated about 200 of them. So, you know, I was approaching 1,000, but it was actually like I was approaching 800. And that's a lot. You don't want to do that. But maybe you do, and it just depends on the alternatives. So it might be you don't want to do a binder because you already have a digital twin, and you've already figured out there's no need for this because you already have your thing. And if you did, that's great. Like, if you found your thing, awesome. Stick with that. I would say, you know, maybe still try it out anyway, but it's probably good enough. If you're doing calligraphy, that is going to be really weird, though. If you're doing it all digitally, why are you focusing on calligraphy? I feel like calligraphy is more of a physical act. This is definitely one of the things that came from the Commonplace book category. I don't do a lot of calligraphy. As you can see, my handwriting is a little wacky. Part of it is because I hold the pencil in a very unique way, which I will not be showing, at least not today. Laundry day. So it might be that you have a practice tool to set up your system, and you're just like, yeah, I did it. I set up a Commonplace book as a binder. Well, here's the problem. How are you going to use it? What are you going to use it for? Laundry day. You're going to set up laundry day. Now, one of the things I actually found the most helpful for myself was having an established laundry day, because that means all of my clothes are clean, or I know that they will be clean. And that is just a giant mental burden that has been removed, and it's so great. I don't have to worry about that. Now, you might have a different perspective on this. You might be like, well, I can't have a dedicated laundry day. That sucks. Like, I really hope that can happen for you eventually, but, you know, maybe it can't. And it might be that you have unpredictable work hours and certain limitations on clothing. Like, if you have work clothes and you only have, you know, like 2 uniforms, well, you kind of need those, so you might have to do laundry at other times. But I would definitely try this out if you don't have any limitations on when you can do laundry. Just pick a day, you know, like, could be like on the weekend when most people seem to do their laundry. But then you're going to be trying to, like, push your way in when other people are not there, or they are there, and it's it's kind of weird. Or you could pick a day like Wednesday, where there's almost, like, nobody doing their laundry. And then you can just do your thing, and nobody's going to bother you. But I don't know. Maybe you could keep a journal rather than working on a Commonplace binder. If you want to check out that next video, you know, click the button. I don't know if I have end cards. I don't know if I figured those out yet. Currently, none of my videos have end cards, and I'm told that's a very terrible idea. So I should probably start adding them, but I don't really want to be, like, blocking my face. You know what I mean? Or blocking all the content. So if you have any thoughts about that, or this whole thing, you know, leave those down below. So, just thinking, maybe it'd be bad if I get a whole bunch of extra viewers on this video from a specific country. That's the problem with these numbers up here. There's no, like, 420 number, but there's some numbers that I think are going to get some extra visitors, and we'll see what happens. But anyways, enough rambling. I'll see you. Okay, bye.